What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Alexander here, back with some more of the Technomancer. I need that. Level 2. But if I just pulled that off, ooh, I'm
There's a ton of different chemicals. They must have been using them to make explosives to help out with the drilling. Guess it'd work for me too. One charge should be big enough to close the tunnel down. Just mix it all together, attach it to a single detonator, and bam, gonna be a beautiful thing.
You really believe that they'll have left enough to blow up the tunnels here? Would be very smart.
I need some materials if I'm gonna collapse this tunnel.
Alright. I'm assuming that the other thing on here is going to be what we need.
The man must have mercy. They will die if he does not help them.
There you go.
Here's your way out. I don't know where you're gonna go, but you better get going.
They will never forget the Hammer Man. Never. They thank him.
The hammer. I am the hammer. I like that. Now we just need to actually have a hammer, not a mace. Lock level 2. Hi, how's it going? Wanna fight? Ooh, ow. Boom. There we go. You taking that? Oh, hey, I can actually give Warder's mace back. Well, not his mace.
This is beyond my skill level.
Oop. I just don't know what the next thing we're gonna put a perk into. It's gonna be. Whoop. Back to that. Where's theirs? Run! Run like your life depended on it. It probably does. Oh. Now, click.
Perfect. Got everything I need to shut this access point down for good. All set. Just need to get back to the rover before setting it all off. All set. Just need to get back to the rover before setting it all off.
Ooh. The trigger I had earlier is really coming back up. I do not like it. Been trying out these like energy drink mixes. All I can't even remember what brand they are, but I just like they were like $5 at a Walmart. Because I was like, huh, wouldn't these be any good and worth it? Nah, sometimes they're good, other times. Boom. Someone farted over there.
This tunnel's gone. Aurora's got no way into Ophir anymore. Mission accomplished.
The intensity of the vibrations is soothing, hypnotic. They make me so tired.
Dear old Scott, my machine's caressing you with rumbles. Sweet talking you. Can't go falling asleep on a battlefield, though.
Already asleep.
Thanks to you, the city won't ever have to face another attack like the last. All those people wounded because of those broken shutters. Just thinking about it, I feel nauseous.
It's probably the rover. Gotta get used to the vibrations. Most people fucking puke their ass out their first time.
No, I meant the thought of all the... Never mind.
I really don't get it. This is war, right? Aurora shows up and blows up part of our city, and how do we retaliate? Send a handful of people like us? I don't get it.
You ever do anything but bitch? Successful mission. Tripping a rover? Hell, If I was you, I'd be grinning ear to ear. Why don't you do that? Bitch less, smile more.
She's right, Ward.
Sir, I've got something to ask you.
What can I do
Yes.
for you?
Well, I don't know if you know, but my dad died when I was young. Actually, he disappeared. He never came back from one of his explorations 15 years ago.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't want your pity, okay? It's not about that. What I mean is, I've never managed to find out what kind of mission he was on and where he had gone. I know he was close to Scott. He was probably even his best friend. That old crazy man doesn't want to tell me anything. He says he wants to protect me. Look, I'll just cut to the point. I was wondering if you'd maybe look in his dispensary for me. See if you could find any of my father's notes or letters or...
I don't know, Amelia. Scott's like a father to me. Then besides, you know he's almost always there. How would I even do it?
I'm not asking you to break in or steal nothing. Just keep him busy. And while you are there, you know, just flip through files. I'm sure he kept letters between him and my dad. He's not one to throw anything away.
All right. I'll try to make him leave, but if I don't find anything...
Yeah, I won't blame you. But I know that you're going to find something.
Yeah, no problem. That's a simple request. Again, we are kind of snooping where we probably shouldn't be snooping. I think that's that one jacket. No. That's actually where we need to go. Now that I think about it.
Hello,
Right.
Scott. My captain told me that she wanted to see you.
Is it related to you? Are you sick?
No. Not that I know of. She didn't tell me why.
Oh, well, should I take my pouch then? It's an important question. I should still take it though, but it's a little heavy. All right, I'm leaving without it.
I think I have a problem with going through your friend's things. I hope whatever you're looking for, it's worth it.
I'm trying to find information about the past. It's personal, okay?
Forget it. Couldn't understand. The officers, they aren't like us. They're above all that.
Oh, God, always bitching Ward is. Now that's theft.
Hello, Mancer.
Hello? I found some of your father's letters.
I knew it. Tell me.
Most of the correspondence was friendly. They were very close. However, there was some tension between them over time. Some letters gloss over an expedition that they had done together, but what surprised me the most is when your father talks about a boy who was actually Scott's son. The last letter I found is a bit bizarre. I didn't really understand what he meant.
What did he mean? Do you remember?
Your dad begged Scott to stop the madness, warning that his wife's divorce was only the beginning of what he would lose if he couldn't face the truth. That it was too late for his son. He seemed to think Scott was on the verge of self-destruction.
It's true that it's rather mysterious. Scott, a son. Did you know?
No, he never told me about him. He obviously lost him. No doubt it's still a touchy subject.
We have to find out what this is all about. You have to ask his wife. Did my father really mean to interfere in his family drama? Maybe that's why he disappeared? Please, Zechariah!
Alright. I admit I'm interested too, because I don't think I did this originally as well. There's a lot of missions that I skipped over around this time when I originally played this. I think I did maybe 3 missions that weren't main missions when I first played. Because I was not having fun with the combat system. What do we got? Shield attacks can maybe disrupt by parrying powerful attacks. Pestle gives a 15% chance of blocking enemy blows and projectiles even without parrying. Ooh, that sounds really good. What's this? Increases all damage during this type of combat by 5%. Wait, where'd the... Oh, it's over there. Do, 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 do. Completely around. But yeah, well, I see, it's funny, the first time I played this, I really liked the story. I just hated the gameplay. Maybe it's because I was bad at it. And I was playing a very unoptimized build.
I'd advise you to not try anything.
I'm sorry to... You Angela Seeker, Scott's wife?
Ex-wife? What did the drunk do this time?
Nothing bad. He's a friend.
A friend? Ah, right.
Just looking for some information on one of his friends, Mark, and your son.
Get out! Get out! What right do you have coming around digging up the past?
For serum.
Listen, I think Mark's disappearance was tied to Scott's research, and your son. And I know you were a researcher too, so I'm hoping you'll be able to help me understand the research better, and maybe even find your old friend.
The drive to dissect even the smallest details, to try to understand how and why. That thirst once drove me too, but I let it go. There was no well deep enough to satisfy that thirst. I was never as involved as Scott. In truth, I began to give up my work once we had our son. The focus of my research had been the study of animal mutations with the goal of vaccine production. And always wondered if... Because of that, I had been the conduit that carried the infection to my son. Scott was more interested in genetics and its medical applications. The second our son showed signs, though, I completely stopped my research. If I hadn't told Scott, he would never even have noticed. And his answer was to swear he could find a cure. He really believed that with his work in genetics and mine in vaccination, that we could save our son. But I was too devastated to help him. All I wanted to do was spend every second with our son before he was taken away from us. Which, of course, happened. And Scott and Mark took off on a wild goose chase that he was sure would end in a cure. I didn't get it. There wasn't anything he needed that he didn't have access to in his lab. And while he was off, I was alone, and waited, and eventually got tired of it. So I asked for a divorce, and then they finally came back, with nothing to show for it. But soon Mark took off again to find what I guess were raw materials for research that Scott swore he couldn't find here. And that was the last I saw of him. That's all I know. I never found out what their research was on, and honestly, I just want to forget it all. Please now, can you leave me be?
Why do a lot of stories that we get that we meet are so damn
The old
depressing?
man's been through. I've known some folks myself who went through the same thing. Terrible thing. Breaks couples up, you know. Stress of never being able to have kids again.
Why never again?
Because they sterilize families who've had a mutant to make sure they don't have no more.
It's sad, but it's the only way to protect our own kind. At least now I understand why the professor's so, you know, weird.
The ends do not justify the means on that one. People shouldn't, just because of they're coming out mutated, they shouldn't be sterilized. That's fucked. And they shouldn't have their kids should be taken away from them.
Hello, Mancer.
Hello? I talked to Scott's ex-wife.
So, what did she say?
It's an awful story. Her son. Anyway, their son was struck by mutation. They took him away from them, of course, but it made Scott go crazy, and he was convinced that he could find a remedy. He asked for your father's help, so they left together, and were gone for a long time. Their exploration apparently didn't lead to anything concrete for the boy, and Scott descended into madness. And then one day, Mark left. His ex thinks that it was to bring back something useful for his research, and he never came back.
Shit. So my father's disappearance is related to that poor kid? It's really awful what they must have gone through. That explains a lot about why he's so crazy, and also why he behaves as if we were his kids. Thank you, Zach. That doesn't answer all my questions, far from it, but I have a better grasp of what happened. My father disappeared by helping his best friend who was going through a rough patch and wanted to heal his child. It's a sad but beautiful story, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna think about all this. Thank you again.
No problem, Amelia. Alright. Time to go report into the Mancers and then go report into the captain. Oops. Every time. I'm absolutely sure that we are done here. Completely forgot we could do this to make sure. Yep, the only thing that's left on this map is the stuff with Rogue, and I ain't doing that. I can't stand Rogue. Now, I do plan a second playthrough of this game, where, no, we will be siding with Anton, just to see that side. Just like I plan on the second one with, well, by Flame, but when this one come around, nah, that's another story. Gotta get through all my other games that I have in the backlog first, which keeps getting more and more added to it every 2 weeks recently. Last 2 weeks I've bought like 8-9 games that are far from being the next game. Some of them I just bought because they were really, really cheap. I didn't even look around. I was like, oh hey, 89 cents, absolutely. I play a little bit of it and was like, ah, yeah, I'll do it. I'll eventually do a Let's Play of that. It'll be a short one. Do like a second intermediate one or something. Left or right, left or right, left or right. We are there. Right. Actually, let's go down here. Alright. We turn this in. I think that's temporarily the last thing for the... that we do for the Mancers. Then... get it going to... I think the next part's the really, really oh-so fun part. The part that actually, my first playthrough, had me rage quit for like a week. I wouldn't even touch it. I would just look at it on my dashboard like, Hello.
Zachariah, a pleasure as always. What may I do for you?
I've returned, Great Master, with the relic from the Aurora evacuation. It's a tablet filled with text, and I don't have a clue how to decipher it.
A glorious day. You have no idea what this means, Zachariah. The language is indeed difficult, and most no longer have the knowledge or ability to understand it. Most, but not me. I will begin deciphering immediately. We will know soon enough the vast wealth of secrets it holds. Sean was certainly right in his appraisal of you. Your worth has already proven to be infinitely valuable. A word of warning, Zachariah. Words spreading about your missions. Things you've been able to accomplish. Filled with troubling details that imply you have a mole in your midst. If there is an ASC spy amongst your ranks, he will not only know our secret, but eventually share it back to his master. We will, in no uncertain terms, be lost. All will be lost. So take care. And take care of it. Sooner rather than later.
Thank you for the warning. I assure you, I will get to the root of this.
Well, a mole in my ranks. My only ranks are those two fuckers at the door. I want to see if those gloves are any good. Oh yeah, they're better. now I can recycle those. Alright, with that beeping, that's the alarm going off. So, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see ya in the next one.